Yeah, I mean, for me personally, obviously, not the way I planned, but you know, disappointing in the sense of, again another difficult year, which we all expected. Everyone knows this is a tough league, and it's a long distance race. It's not a sprint, and I think we saw at the start of the year a team that was full of confidence, a team that's excelling, and then we hit that middle part of the season, which for me is the most important part of the season, where we had games in hand and we kind of lost steam. And then teams caught up points, and then we're trying to, and then we're fighting uphill again. So it's tough. I feel not only for myself being a local guy, but obviously for more so the fans and a desperate organization that really hoped for a team that would at least make a playoffs. So I think it's disappointing in that respect from a professional standpoint.
Dwayne, I know this season was not what you expected in parts, but is it possible you can talk about how you found the franchise now compared to how you left it?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. I think in that respect, I think as an organization, with this facility that we didn't have when I was here, so there's been a lot of positives. There's been a lot of, I think, things handled in the right way, in the right manner, and I think the club's really starting to narrow down an identity, a style of play, a characteristics that when you come to this door, when you come to these buildings of TFC, you see a certain attitude, and I think in that respect, a lot has changed. I think in terms of the academy programs, a lot of insight is being put towards that development. So a lot of positives have been implemented since I left, and now actually being here and seeing it firsthand, and I think off the field stuff has been pretty positive.
No matter what, there was a huge ovation every time you came on the field this year. What did that support mean in a difficult season for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those are the things that make you want to play, make you dig down deeper, even though you're in a situation as a player and as a competitive player, as a winner, you're coming on at 2 minutes and you probably won't have as much impact as you hoped. With the fans cheer you on, they give you that inspiration, and even if it's 2 minutes, you want to do as much as you can to at least make yourself obviously have a good showing, but make the fans proud that are cheering you. So every time I went to warm up and I got that support, it's a great feeling.
How important was it for you to take a leadership role with players like Osorio, John Henry, young Canadians who kind of want to follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing I could share with them is from my experiences, and things that they can utilize to help them first become a better individual, a more confident player, and a more and to understand where they need to improvement in terms of their game. So, for me, it's one thing to give information, but it's another when they're open to your ideas, be it good or bad, because I don't fulfill egos. I tell them the way I think it is, and for some it might be hard. For others, they'll take it and know that I only want to see the best from them. So in that respect, the response has been good so far, from not all, but from the majority of them.
Earlier, who is following in your footsteps, Daniel Henry was making a move to Europe, or could be making a move to Europe sometime soon. Have you spoken to him about his career moving into the future? What have you told him?
Well, I mean, a little bit. I mean, obviously, Daniil is a kid that has a lot of potential, huge potential. He's a good athlete. There's areas, of course, that he wants to improve on. So obviously, helping him with that. But it's a player that I think has the potential to play in anywhere in the world if he puts his mind to it. So I think a kid like that, his future is in his hands. So with that potential and with that kind of athleticism and ability, and you combine all that, I think the future is bright for a kid like Daniil. Of course, we would love him to have him here at TFC, but what he does in the future, is still remains to be seen.
Dwayne, when all the transfer deadline speculation happened around Jermaine, was that a problem getting the locker room focused at all, or was that a distraction at all?
I don't think so. Not for me. I can only speak for myself. For me, it wasn't. I mean, I've been around professional sports long enough, so it wasn't no distraction. It was, it was just another player, another addition to the team. Obviously, a player that has a lot of experience. Obviously, a player that has played at the highest level. So, it was a good feeling knowing that you're having a player at his caliber join a team, our team.
Do you hope he's back next year? Do you think he will be?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hope he's back. Whether or not he will be, I can't answer that.
Do you think he got a fair chance under Ryan?
I don't know. I guess that's a question that he would have to answer.
But you don't. But what do you think? Did you get a fair chance?
If I got a fair chance? Oh, I thought you said if JD had a fair chance. Oh. No, I mean, I don't think my experience and in this league was utilized to the best of my ability. So, I don't think I really had a fair go when he was a coach, and that was disappointing. Whether it was off the field, whether it was being a leader, communicating. So in that respect, that was very disappointing.
Did you get an explanation from him as to why you didn't utilize him?
No. I mean, I had explanations, but it weren't. There are things I wanted to hear. So.
Wayne, there were so many expectations put on this club at the beginning of the year, and then when Nicole was brought in, and playing midfield, signage, and everything that's happening, and no one really knows whether he's coming back because there's so much being said about that. But what was he like for you, and is it a good fit here, do you think, for him in your locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen what he could do. He scored some big goals for us. I think he finished the season off with 10 goals. So, and then played the later part of the season injured. And obviously, we caught Jermaine I think we have to be realistic. We caught him at a time where, he's played a long time. He hasn't gotten the rest that he probably needed or deserved when he came in. And of course, being a professional, those things are to be expected. Would I like to see him here next year? Definitely. I think a player at his caliber, his experience, I think if utilized in the right way, he could be a huge asset to the development of TFC having a successful year next year. But, I think it's most important that we the coaches have to sit down and get a clear objective in terms of their goals and his goals for next year.
Sometimes when there's a disappointing season, there's a temptation among management, not just here, but in sports generally, to kind of overhaul the roster. TFC's kind of had a history of doing that fairly frequently. I mean, would it be a mistake to kind of blow it all up and start over again?
Well, again, in my personal opinion, I think we've seen that every year here, if I'm not mistaken, and every year we're pretty much in the same predicament. So I don't think it would be an ideal thing to keep following the same footsteps as we've done in the past, because it hasn't really reaped benefits. So hopefully we keep a core group. But again, it's up to the coaches. Obviously, every year or two, there's a new coach coming in, so that changes. Different style of play, different idea of the game, and with that brings a certain type of players that could fit those roles. So hopefully we can keep somewhat of a core and somewhat of a basis moving forward in terms of coaching staff. But that's again, that's just my opinion.
Now that the season is over, you look back at the year, did you meet the minutes? I think you said it was a minute clause in your second-year option. Was that met?
That's a good question. I think I did, but again, that's neither here or there. I hopefully plan to be here next year, and again, I came here with saying that there's some unfinished business that I want to do, and I kind of feel like I'm still holding on to those words. And the day that our team, this club gets success that we all want, whether it's media, fans, players, coaches, I would like to have a hand in some development towards our success.
Dwayne, you're a local guy. Do you think that there's much more left in the fans in terms of they've taken a few blows on the chin and they've been very loyal? Do you think it comes to a point where if you don't get it right, you lose some of them?
I think we've seen that over the course of over the years. Us losing fans, but we also gain fans as well. So, listen, the fans aspect of the game is definitely one that we don't take for granted. It's one that we definitely uphold to the highest regards because they create the environment. They create, they make us want to play every weekend. So, but in saying that, you're gonna have fans that are fed up, and then you have fans that are gonna hold on to. We can't dictate what tomorrow brings in terms of the fans' response or attendance next year. But I hope they stick with us, stick with the organization, stick with the club. Most importantly, not for me or for the guys, but more so for the development of this sport in this country.
How close do you think this team is to, you seem destined for the playoffs at one point in the season. Do you think you're just some time, a few parts away?
Yeah, I mean, if you look historically at every successful team, you see that Rome isn't built in a day, and it's not built overnight. And we saw that this year. No matter how much good players we bring in, it still takes time. You constantly see the same teams making the playoffs. You constantly see the same teams going the full distance, and usually those are the teams that have been around for a while, and they have a strong core, and they have a real clear identity. And, again, we rebuild again this year, and we saw a team that was just, 2 games away from not making the playoffs. So, I mean, there is some positives to take away from that. I think, if we could build on that for next year and start the same way we did this year, but, keep a steady consistency, I think you'll see a team that's, probably going to clinch the playoffs a little bit sooner in the year than we saw this year. Yes. Yeah. I plan to be there.
When you comparing on pitch and off the pitch, do you think you've had more success off the pitch this year with regards to your foundation, with the events that you've been doing, the reality TV show, being in a music video? How do you kind of compare the on the pitch compared to the off the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 different worlds. I mean, I do that for the next generation. I do that to create opportunities. For kids in my neighborhood that don't have the same chances or equal chances that some other kids have. So the sole purpose of me doing my shows and all that stuff is to create more of awareness, especially for me. Highlight was building my foundation, I think, off the field in terms of success. I think that was, for me, that was the biggest thing. And on the field, obviously, it was disappointing. So it kind of balanced itself out in a way. But every time I came here and trained and got on the field, it was I enjoy it. I love playing, preparing every Saturday for a match. Obviously, the results doesn't coincide with my goals and dreams of coming here. But every time I come back home to play in my hometown with my fans support me was it was a dream come true. I never thought I would have the opportunity to come back home.
Some people would, or some fans have been saying, with all the stories that have come out throughout the season, Nelson leaving and stuff with Jermaine, that same old TFC not making the playoffs, what else is new? Is this year different, and how is it different?
I think that refers to the question earlier. I mean, it's a lot of things I think are different. I think Greg has a different approach. I think he's definitely more managed the team a lot more than I think Nelson. And I'm not gonna sit here and have a go at Nelson. I think he definitely brought some positives to the team as well. But we're in a results business at the end of the day. So if you're not getting the results, then something's has to give. And unfortunately, it was the coaching staff. But I think the new coaching staff that came on board definitely took the right approach. Every training is intense. I think there's a clear vision, the way he wants everyone to play, and everyone understands clearly their roles and objectives. And you can't knock that. As well as I think he's a very personable coach. So he pulls you aside and gauges where everyone is at mentally, physically, and I think that's a positive attribute as a coach or as a manager.